welcome back to my YouTube channel, the best place for passionate entrepreneurs just like you who want to scale their income and impact online. And today I have a very special news for you. I have decided to do this 3-part video series for free. Yes, for free here on YouTube for you guys, for all those of you who want to grow and most importantly, sell using the power of social media. And today I'm going to share with you the top 5 mistakes you're making when selling on social media, or rather, I would like to reframe it to when you're trying to sell on social media but are not being able to do so successfully because of these 5 mistakes you've made or are even currently making. So ensure you stay with me through the end of this video to know the 5 mistakes so that you can rectify them, and the next 2 parts of this video series will help you get clearer on what to do and how exactly to do that to make sales via social media. The first mistake that you're making on social media is not choosing your platforms wisely or with research. Now this has 2 parts to it. One part is that you're on multiple platforms rather than focusing on 1 or 2 of them, which is causing you to have a wide focus area instead of that single pinpoint focus that can help you ace or succeed or grow or sell on any 1 or 2 of those social media platforms. What this means is that if you're in multiple platforms, then you have to put effort into all of them independently to make them grow. Some of the content can be repurposed, but you still need to focus a lot of your attention on the social media platform when you truly want to make the most of it. And if you're not able to do that, then you won't grow, you won't be able to sell there. That is the first consequence. But if you're doing that, then you are diverted and then you're spending a lot of time just nurturing your different social media platforms. Instead, my suggestion will be choose 1 or 2 social media platforms that you want to focus on and start building, growing and selling on these platforms before you add other platforms to your kitty. That is the first part of this. And the second part of this is when you're choosing your social media platforms, do a lot of research, understand your ideal consumer and know whether they are there on these social media platforms or not. Because if they are not on these social media platforms that you are choosing and showing up and doing so much effort and work for, you are not going to tap into them. You're not connecting with them because they are not even there on these platforms. So it's very important that you effectively research where your ideal client is showing up, where are they hanging out, so that you can show up on those platforms. You can create amazing content for those platforms. You can create a bond with them on those platforms and then take them from being a cold prospect to a person who will be a hot buyer from you. But you need to show up on the right platforms for that. So 2 takeaways from the number 1 mistake is that A, choose 1 or maximum 2 platforms to begin with, and B is choose those platforms by doing research on your ideal consumer. Not randomly, not by just what you like. It should of course be what you like and what type of content you love creating, but it should also be on where your audience is hanging out. So know your audience and that will help you know which platforms are right for you, and that is the number 1 mistake that you need to stop doing today on. Okay, back with second mistake that you're making is that you're not focusing on building a community here on social media and instead you're focused on just selling. And let me tell you why that's wrong. It's because if you are just focused on selling right now and not building a community, you are focused on short-term goals and short-term sales. You are not thinking about the long-term sales of what is possible with your social media platform. If I talk about Instagram, because Instagram is what I teach, I coach, and I work a lot on. If I talk about someone building their Instagram profile just for short-term sales, it is not going to monetize and not going to give them all that's possible for the long run. So my suggestion to my students is always to start with the focus of community building, because when you do that, you are getting sales on the short term. However, you are also focused on the long term sales. So your community will buy from you time and again. Your community will refer you. Your community will be a crazy fan following. So that will only be possible once you take the time and effort to know them, to build a community, to have that feeling of community on your social profiles. So that is why it's very important that you start focusing on community building from day 1. It's not something that you start after a year of being on a specific platform or after having 10,000 followers. No, you need to start doing that right now, because it will become like a culture that you need to nurture eventually. So if your first 100 followers feel that feeling of community and nurturing around it, then imagine as to how the next 100 and the next 500 and the next 1,000 will feel. It'll be like attracting and building on a culture you've started. So ensure that you start building that culture right away. Okay, the third mistake that you're making on social media is that you're not being social. It's a reason why it's called a social media platform. You need to be social on this platform. Be and interact like a human. Some of the practices or some of the things that you do which are not social elements is that you come, you post, and you leave. We call this posting and ghosting. You come on the platform, you do a story, and you leave. You are not interacting, you are not utilizing this platform socially, which is how it is meant to be. So you are not socializing, you're not giving people to have those open points of engaging with you. You're not giving them call to actions enough. You're not building a community around the same. And that is going to harm you in the long run, because it's not just with the psychological aspect when it comes to your consumer that they've not engaged with you, they've not gotten engagement from you, so they don't feel that connect. That's one part of it. But with the algorithm also, if you're not being social, if you're not doing the normal human stuff on the platform, it tends to push your content a little lower. The reach goes lower, and then I get a lot of questions around why my reach is going lower, because you are just posting and you're leaving. You're not interacting on the platform with how the platform wants and actually means for you to do. So it's very critical that you be social, you engage, you start up conversations, you give people an opportunity to come and interact with you. That is also something that you need to give them. They're not going to come like that if you're not interacting. They'll start commenting, engaging. That won't happen. That will happen only once you take the charge in your own hand and get started with this. And once you do, they will surely come back, and the conversation and the engagement and the social connection will improve and grow from there. So it's very important to remember that social media is called social media for a reason, and you need to go out there and start socializing on social media platforms. The fourth mistake that I see a lot of people committing is that they engage in wrongful practices which are unethical, not allowed by Instagram team, Instagram app, and certainly not good morally when you're doing that on the platform. If you engage in these unethical practices just for the sake of faster growth, it's not going to help you with your sales at all. So just to remind you guys that we are talking about selling on social media and what is affecting it directly or what is affecting it indirectly. So this is something that will affect it directly, because if you're following these wrongful practices of growing on social media, you're growing the numbers, you're growing the following, but you don't have the ideal consumer, and you're not doing the other necessary things of the platform, so they are not engaging with you, they don't feel that connection with you, and those are the prerequisites to make a sale. That people need to start to feel connected with you. They don't want to be distant, because if they're distant, they don't trust you. Why will they buy from you? As simple as that. So my 2 cents here are basically don't follow any wrongful practices for growth. It may seem like a shortcut, but overall in the long run, it's not going to help. Unfollow practices means simply like utilizing bots and automations to actually do the engagement instead of a human doing it, and doing the usual follow and follow route. It's not going to help you eventually. These are not things that are going to take you places when it comes to selling on social media. Specifically talking about Instagram, if your followers grow up till 10,000, but the people in there that genuinely care about your products are only 2,000, the extra 8,000 followers are no good enough. Rather, they're going to drop your overall engagement, affect you algorithmically, make your reach lower, and will be like a vicious negative cycle. Instead, if you build on those 2,000 and you even grow by 1,000 more, those are your ideal followers. So they will engage with you, which inherently affects your post, your reach positively, and leads to a positive cycle for your growth. So think about which kind of growth is it that you want. Just for the sake of the numbers, or the numbers that are genuine people interacting with you, and period. These are the people that will buy from you. Okay, now that we've talked about 4 mistakes, here's the 5th one. You're focusing on the wrong numbers. You're focusing on the likes you get, on the followers you have, but not the numbers that actually matter. For example, your engagement, leaving the likes apart, is super important. So if people are sharing your posts, if people are saving your content, if they are commenting, that counts for far more engagement than just getting likes. So that's the reason Instagram is also removing likes. It started rolling out already. But it's going to go away. All the likes are going to go away, because they are just the vanity numbers that are in front of you to give you stress and nothing else. They are not going to take you places. So instead, start analyzing your content from the numbers that actually matter. For example, your engagement actually matters. Your sales, your shares actually matter. Your reach matters. So reach is like a result-driven metric. So by measuring your reach, you will know that if the activities that you are doing are working positively for you or negatively for you. Reach is not a number you can directly control with your content, but for sure the independent things that you're doing can be moderated to get you a better reach. But that certainly means that you need to keep an eye on the reach, the impressions, and more importantly, the engagement metrics of sales, shares, and comments than just focusing on the likes that you're getting or on the number of followers that you have. Focus on seeing how your community is growing. What are the demographics of these people? Are they your ideal audience or are they just growing for the sake of growing? Because if your audience is growing but not with your ideal audience, then it is not going to help you. Hence, focusing on the wrong numbers will just give you stress and nothing else. And focusing on the right numbers will tell you what is working out for your audience, what is working out for your followers, and hence how can you load more on that type of content and take your profile to places. So those were the 5 mistakes that I see people committing that stop them from selling effectively on social media. Number 1, not choosing your platforms effectively. Number 2, not building a community. Number 3, not being social on social media platforms. Number 4, using unethical or wrongful practices for growing on social media. And number 5, focusing on the wrong numbers. So make sure you stop doing these from today onwards and instead reverse them and start focusing on the right things. And other than this, if you'd like to know what should be the next steps when it comes to selling on social media and that too doing it effectively, wait for my next video, which will be a part of this video series itself, the second part of this 3-part mini course here on YouTube, and you will get access to it very, very soon for free. So stay tuned and stay connected. If you like this video and if you like the idea of me doing a 3-part video series for free here on YouTube, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. So drop in a comment, like this video, of course share it with anyone you think might be benefited from it, and subscribe to the channel as well as turn on the notification because the next video of this online series is going to be even more juicy. So stay tuned and I will see you. Meanwhile, if you like this video, I'm sure you love the other videos that I create on online marketing, entrepreneurship, digital marketing, social media, and so much more. Go check them out and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye.